My husband insists I wear full makeup whenever we're intimate and I'm not comfortable with it. My F27 husband M32 and I have been married for over a year now. I often don't wear makeup except on occasions. I have no experience with it, I don't know how to apply it properly, and quite frankly, I'm not interested in learning anything about makeup. But the problem started when me and my husband were attending a wedding 2 weeks ago, and he said he liked my sort of heavy makeup and said I was the most beau today I fucked up a woman at the wedding. He kept complimenting how my face looked. Note, my cousin did my makeup as I said above. I know nothing about it and I'm not interested in learning. After we got back from the wedding, my husband asked me to not remove my makeup and I ended up actually sleeping in it after we had sex that night. I woke up looking like a joker the next morning. My face felt sticky, the pillow was a mess. It was a disaster. My husband kept joking when I started looking for my lashes, asking if I was looking for my eye. He then told me that he loved my new look and asked me to from now on, that night, wear full makeup whenever we're intimate. I was taken aback. I told him it won't work for several reasons. I don't know how to properly apply full heavy makeup. My cousin did my makeup that day. B, sleeping with makeup on hurts my skin and gives me uncomfortable feeling. C, sleeping with makeup on ruins the pillow covers. And D, does he no longer like me without makeup? So then this is a problem. I was worried. We've gone back and forth on this issue and I've come to realize that this in fact is a weird kink of his that I'm not comfortable with, but he's been sweet talking me into giving in every time and having me do makeup at the salon every other day. I don't want to do it, but he'd say that I'd do it if I love him and again sweet talk me into getting what he wants. I feel dumb, but seriously, I'm super uncomfortable with this. Just the thought of having to wear full makeup every other night and sleeping in it is uncomfortable and obviously very unhealthy. I've read some scary facts about the damage makeup can do to the skin. It's only been 2 weeks and I feel my skin has been damaged already. I feel like this is not who I really am, and my husband likes it, which is sad because he always says he loves me the way I am. But last night he got mad when he saw that I had no makeup on, like I said I would, and argued that I don't care about making him happy and taking his feelings/opinions into consideration. I told him that wearing makeup isn't my thing, and more importantly, my skin has started to become dry and my eyes are becoming affected and now look reddish because of sleeping with mascara. He won't even let me remove it after we're done, and insist I remove it in the morning. I tried to reason with him, but he chose to make this his hill to die on and refused to be with me in the same room, saying I lied to him for not going to the salon to do my makeup. He kept sulking and didn't say much except letting me know what I did wrong. I go mad and called him immature for pitching a fit, then giving me silent treatment just cause he didn't what he wants. I'm at the end of my rope here and reasoning with hasn't worked. Stop putting makeup on, hun, he can't force you. Really, the worst he can do is divorce her, and given Op's description of his behavior, I'm not totally convinced that would be a bad thing. Anytime someone says you do it if you loved me, they are manipulating you. He's affecting your mental and physical health, considering he won't let you take it off before going to bed, and it causes you skin damage. I don't want to be the person who screams divorce, but he's not respecting you, your body, or your wishes. Couples counseling is the bare minimum here. If you're not comfortable with it, then don't do it. I'd seriously ask him to wear a full face of makeup and refuse to allow him to remove it until morning and see how comfortable he feels. He's being both controlling and childish at the same time. If you feel like compromising, then maybe agree to wear makeup on odd occasions, but you will be removing it before you go to sleep. Or you could do what I do and tell him to FK off, but I'm a straight talking mature lady who doesn't take any shit from her partner. Thumbs up. His kink requires 2 consenting adults. Stop giving into the sweet talk. Sit him down and lay it all out. No if and or buts. Needs to stop pressuring or punishing you for not wanting this. If this is the first time he's acted this entitled, selfish, and controlling, I'd be wondering if he has a brain tumor. Your husband can go fuck himself while wearing full-on makeup. My sister's upset because I'm dating someone with the same first name. I 21F have been dating my girlfriend 23F for about 6 months now. This is my first ever relationship and I couldn't be happier. We meet at work, so I first knew her by her nickname, as that's what she prefers to use, as her real first name is super common. So when I talk about her to my family, I usually just use her nickname. Since we've been dating for a while, I've met her family and she's been included in FaceTime calls with mine. I live about 7 hours away from my family. I haven't seen them for about a year. The border between provinces is about to open up, so I plan to go back and visit them with my girlfriend. My sister has never met my girlfriend, but when I go back to visit they'll be meeting. My sister was trying to find her on Facebook, and when she did, she found out my GF's real first name. She called me yesterday screaming about how I'm creepy and gross to be dating someone with her first name, and it's like I trying to date my own sister. Now my sister won't take any of my calls, and she told my parents that she won't come visit if my girlfriend's coming, and she won't talk to me again unless I break up with my girlfriend. My parents told me today to uninvite my girlfriend because they don't want any drama during our visit. Does anyone have any advice for me? I really want my family to accept my girlfriend. I don't understand my sister's problem with this because it's such a common name. She's literally met dozens for people with the same name. I wouldn't even be calling them the same name anyway. Please tell me your sister is 11, because only then might it explain her reaction. She's being ridiculous. She's 19 and she was supportive of me when I first came out a couple years ago. I had 2 serious boyfriends in college and both of them had sisters with the same name as mine. One of them had the same first and middle name as I do. It was just a coincidence. That's what happens when you have a name that was fairly popular in the mid-80s/early 90s. I would not uninvite your partner. I would call your parents and tell them that you'll be happy to visit at another time when they wake up and stop pandering to your sister's ridiculous drama, but you're going to take a pass on the visit this time. Mom, Dad, I am not going to come alone, as it is important to me that you meet my girlfriend. I understand that you do not want any drama, and I do not blame you, but we all know sister's reaction is unhinged and ridiculous, and I am not going to indulge that sort of behavior. Please let me know when it is a good time for us to come out, and we will plan for a different weekend, when sister will not be home, as I have no interest in putting girlfriend in an embarrassing position of dealing with something so silly. Our visit will keep. I hope you have a lovely reunion with sister, her behavior notwithstanding. Now my sister won't take any of my calls, and she told my parents that she won't come visit if my girlfriend's coming _ and she won't talk to me again unless I break up with my girlfriend _ My parents told me today to uninvite my girlfriend because they don't want any drama during our visit. Call your sister's bluff and decline your parents' invite to visit. Ask your parents if there's another time you can visit when your sister isn't there. Absolutely, to uninvite your so, which they did by asking you to uninvite her, becomes them uninviting both of you, assuming you care about her and have a good relationship with her. You are an item, and come in a package deal. Make that clear to them now, or you will regret it for as long as you are together. My brother married a girl with the same first name as me, only one letter is different. I have gone by a nickname my whole life, and so he didn't even realize we had the same name until I brought it up, and we just laughed about it. Laughed, because it's not a big deal, not creepy, at all, just a coincidence. My girlfriend, 29F, is refusing to move out after I, 30 meters, broke things off. I have been living with my girlfriend for 5 years. We have been in couples therapy for the last 3 years and made no progress. I don't mean to put it all on her, but the reason I'm leaving her is because I'm convinced that I will never be able to trust her. A big problem is that she will do very sneaky and underhanded things, and then when I start to express the fact that I don't want to have children or get married to someone who I can't trust, She very briefly turns it around for a week or two and acts like a good housewife for a lack of better terms. It's always very short-lived, and as soon as she's back in my good graces, she goes right back to lying and manipulating me. I have supported her for the past 5 years. But 2 years ago, while things were going well, we had a very important conversation. She had me convinced that she was ready to finally start acting like an adult. I sold my duplex that I owned outright and bought a larger single-family house with a mortgage. This house was supposed to be to raise children in. She has split the mortgage with me roughly 50% for most of the time we've been living here, but I put $30,000 down on the house out of my savings, and I refused to put her name on the deed until we were married because I wasn't going to marry her until I felt like I could completely trust her. As far as the law is concerned, she's basically been renting from me for the past 2 years. Just for additional context, I've replaced the roof, the flooring, etc. Also, for the 3 years prior to that, I completely supported her while she was struggling with addiction and unable to hold down a job. I finally realized that we absolutely do not have a future together and that I'm only happy when she's not around. I actually start to feel uncomfortable the second I hear her key touch the door when she gets out of work now. I'm also a recovering drug addict, and she has never respected my sobriety in my opinion, because she's continued to bring things into the house and then blatantly lie to me about it over the past 2 years. Again, we are not married, and I just finally broke up with her and asked her to move out by the end of the month. I offered her $6,000 if she was willing to do that, and she outright refused. I asked her if hypothetically she would take $10,000 to leave by the end of the month. I offered to help her repair her credit, put together a retirement plan, find an apartment, handle all of the moving, and give her basically whatever furniture she wants, and to stay in touch with her and help her however I can in the future, just because I genuinely want to see her do well, and I know this is hard for her. She knows that I've never cheated on her. She knows that I'm not talking to another girl now. I just genuinely think that we aren't right for each other, and we are basically just wasting our 30s as long as we're living together. The things that make her happy make me unhappy, and vice versa. She is so hesitant to move out because I believe she still thinks she can change my mind, and she's feeling desperate to try her best to change my mind. I'm just at a complete loss right now. I thought that I was being insanely generous. I would imagine that she's going to come home and basically just act like I didn't just break up with her. I don't know for sure, but I think I know her well enough to know that is exactly how she's going to handle this in an hour or two when she comes home from wherever she is. Does anybody have any advice or a perspective that I'm not considering? We've been referring to this as our house the whole time we've lived here, but it's always been basically out of respect to her because it made her happy. I think she's worried that she's never going to be a homeowner again, and I'm under the impression that she's worried about ending up with someone who's not stable enough to play adult with her. Edit. Thank you all for your advice. This post pretty much blew up while I was asleep, and I'm busy at work at the moment. I'm going to catch up on every last message as soon as I get the time later today. I did a quick glance through the messages and they seem overwhelmingly supportive, with the exception of a few people who clearly didn't read the entire post. I'm almost positive that I've been beyond generous through this entire process and over the last 5 years. I'm not perfect, far from it, but I sure as hell did my best to let her live the life that she wanted to outside of getting married or having kids when it was obvious to me that neither of us were ready. Again, thank you all so much, and if you have some input to add, please do. I'm going to read absolutely every response on here. First, quit raising the amount of money you are willing to pay to get her to move. Second, give her a move out date and stick to it. She has refused your help and money, so you owe her nothing. Definitely talk to an attorney about how to protect your assets. If she was worried about her future, she would be acting like an adult. You have no obligation to be a safety net for her when she doesn't make good choices. Deleted.